And as always, we're going to be looking for accurate context, good risk management, and always exercising good patience.
Anytime you're talking about fundamentals in a market and direction, fundamentals take a little bit of time to play out.
We got crude oil today, kind of trading yesterday's value area really nicely, low to high.
That's what we're here for, is to put ourselves in the best success. A trading routine does that, builds that habit, lets you know what to work on, what to reflect on, and what to improve on the next day.
Good afternoon, friends and traders. Welcome to the market recap for Wednesday, September 22nd. I'm Dan Hodgman, and if you recognize a friendly face here, John Hoagland sitting down with us today. John, how are you?
Good. How are you?
A little shaken from today. Saw some volatility there. I don't know if you saw it, but man, oh man, that one had me on the edge of my seat all day.
I think it had everybody on the edge of the seat all day. I mean, I know it had me talking S&Ps. I was thinking range bound until the FOMC meeting. It actually became range bound after the FOMC meeting. A little volatility, but didn't go anywhere.
Unbelievable. You know, you think about it, FOMC days, it's pretty common. Pre-number, it gets a little quiet. No one's getting crazy. You can see it in volume. Volume was light this morning a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't get overwhelming. But we got a nice little run off the open, and then all hell broke loose, and we stayed inside. So just a quick little run through. We're not going to touch on charts here today. I'm just going to give you a quick little run through what happened in all our markets that we're regularly looking at. Crude oil works itself in its trend from the overnight session. We saw it starting to pick up this trend yesterday, maintained that trend, opportunity there, look for weakness, buy the weakness, and go with the flow. We finally broke through that unchecked point of control up by 69. Then you got now the S&P 500, like we touched on. That market opens up and just kept going. Small little pullback on the open, pulls right back to our 20-period EMA and SMA. Continues with trend, makes new highs for the week, and then gets range bound, like John said. Nasdaq, though, this one was pretty fun, John. Nasdaq breaks down to settlement price, point of control, value area low. Three key things we talk about, both the recap and the forecast every single day. Bounces off those like a beautiful trampoline. You had in the backyard as a little
definitely
kid.
A high target area right there.
Whew. I got a little excited. Did not expect it to go as high as it did.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed it. We started getting near yesterday's high, and how quickly did you see all those stops just get run? Quick pop. Everyone lost it, and it took off a little bit there. But no surprise, as we were getting a little closer to Fed, an hour out, 35 minutes out, you could see the sell-off really starting to intensify. Everyone was getting short in there, thinking maybe we'll get back to somewhere near neutral. And then just like the S&P, that market got sideways, worked its 12 over. Gold, a dud of a day until the number. Huge rally up just shy of 90, right around 89, and then breaks all the way down to 65, $25 move in about 45 minutes there in that one. Just, I mean, no thanks.
It just had to go and close that gap from Monday to Tuesday.
It did.
It's just knee-jerked higher, and then just sellers all the way back down to close that gap.
No kidding. And then the exact same chart pattern in the euro.
Of course.
Dud of a day. Number comes out, quick pop up to 1775, breaks down to 117.04. And
guess what weekly kickoff low is?
John, I think you're about to tell us.
117.05. I was off by a tick.
Unbelievable. Get better with these. Come on now.
I'll try.
And the 10-year note was actually a pretty fun one. Market gets good movement in this today. We rally off the open. We rally right up to yesterday's high, and we break right down to that swing low from not last night, but
right before
Monday night into Tuesday morning. There we go. We break down there. So some good opportunity in the markets. FOMC day, John, what's your standard when FOMC is coming around? Are you a sit on the hands, don't do a damn thing and let it happen? Or are you a little antsy, a little excited and ready to click the buttons?
Well, talked about that this morning on the market forecast. There's a lot of expectations, a lot of emotions, a lot of, I think high expectations on the FOMC day. That tells me that I have to really sit back and chill. I've taken enough positions into enough economic numbers to know that I'm going to end up about even by the end of my career, so I don't bother. I don't play them.
There you go. I think when you're outright, you got to be very cautious. You're very exposed to numbers like this. I'll be blunt. I'll be honest. Been having a good week. Did not have a good day. Got worked over a little bit here today, and that's okay. I was out early enough. I avoided this volatile afternoon, and those things happen. I have no problem admitting when I didn't have a great day.
Hey, we have to, right?
And so we get FOMC. We're getting the same gibberish we've been getting for a while. We're not touching rates. Rates are going to stay the same. Expect us to start easing our assets, begin the tapering process, not giving us any distinction there. One thing, though, pretty damn interesting. The Fed is not allowed to inside trade anymore, or they're going to put some small restrictions on it. What do you think about that one?
Well, I think that's mighty magnanimous of them. Come on, really? I mean, what does he say? Nobody's happy about the situation with Fed members trading. Of course they're not. They got caught.
No kidding. If I'm in the Fed, I'm a happy camper. I'm loving life. Last year, we we get this break happening, and how many members of the Fed, members of all the ones that are allowed to inside trade, said, all right, I know we're going to really start building things up here. We're going to stimulate. We're going to pick these markets back up. How many of them went out and just bought index fund after index fund, built up massive bond positions, and
I would
probably had an amazing year.
I would love to be just like a busboy that's like picking up the water glasses and water bottles during the meeting, just to keep an ear open for what they're talking about, because there's probably some good berries of wisdom just by being in the room.
So let me ask you, John, being that the guy serving water, are you safe if you make a trade based off something you heard in there, or do you get held accountable for insider trading?
Well, no, you have a friend of yours have an account.
Exactly. So basically what we're saying is, members of Congress, if you're in the government and you have influence on what you can do with, things that can affect these markets, people in the Fed, there are going to give some restrictions to how they're allowed to trade, but you're able to execute investments, trades, purchasing, buying, selling, with information prior to it being released to the public. You are allowed to get ahead.
Yeah. Hey.
I mean, be amazing, wouldn't it?
Congress too.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I said Congress. If I didn't, Congress as well. There's so many.
I only caught Fed, but yeah, it's an insider thing.
It is. So you have an opportunity. I think, to me, that's the biggest news coming out of this entire thing here today with FOMC. I'm really not surprised by anything else that happened there. I think
they're talking about starting easing in November. They're talking about starting to raise interest rates a little earlier than they originally said. So perhaps a little uptick in interest rates in 2022 instead of waiting to 2023. There's a little bit of information in there, but not enough to really shock the markets. I think there's still some digestion and some reading to go into all of this, but I think they did a pretty good job of not basically saying anything like irrational exuberance.
No, nothing crazy there. And they did point to projections are showing slower overall growth this year, but no surprise, higher inflation than they previously projected. So I think inflation is going to have to be kind of a main topic they're going to talk about. I know Powell's going to speak again at the end of the week, Friday, so maybe we'll get a little bit more there.
Well, and
I
they
still
did
haven't had
mention
time to digest today's information totally.
And they did mention they're going to be, inflation sensitive to any changes that they're going to be doing in the future.
Yeah. Yeah. So definitely start paying attention what the Fed's talking about. I think, this year in general, one of the biggest things with outside of Fed talking is paying attention at CPI. They're talking inflation right now. CPI is that indication of what inflation's doing. We're seeing that number really create volatility recently. So I can't stress that one enough. Pay attention. I want to say hello to everyone really quick. Ricardo, good to see you. Nick, Miguel, Chris, George, Tanya, Hogan, Dan, what a treat. It has been a while. John, I don't think it's been you and I since we left the office on a recap, has it?
No, I don't think it has, but we did have a recap on Saturday.
Yes, we did. We sure did. John and I hung out this weekend. Gold wipes the slate clean. Vince, UG, good to see you. Miguel, what's the time for Hoag's coaching Wednesdays?
1
1 p.m. 1 p.m. Central Time, so that's 2 p.m. Eastern. You're asking for New York time, 2 p.m. Eastern. John, they can just find that right on the homepage under performance coaching, correct?
Yeah, or just come to the market forecast. I'm always putting the registration link in the chat. So just come to the market forecast or look it up.
Awesome. Thank you, Subconscious and Nick. Good to see you guys as well. All right, John, it's been a while since we sat down and chat. How's the year been for you? I want to know from you. We're coming towards the end of the year. 2020, last time we sat down together in a recap live with everyone, markets went a whole different place. We were in a major sell-off last time you and I sat here. Since then, we've picked up a nice little rally. Markets basically like nothing happened a year ago.
Right.
What do you foresee coming now as we move forward?
Oh my goodness.
Putting you on the spot here.
If you remember, at the end of 2019, around Christmas time, we all sat and talked about our projections for 2020. And I remember my projection for the Dow was 35,000. We got there. We made it there. We took the long way, but we did get there. And barring anything catastrophic, I think we're still going to see our very resilient equities continue to grind to the upside. Again, barring anything catastrophic, I think it's been a really good year for trading. It's been strange working from home. I miss people. I miss the people in the office. I miss everybody we work with. And, strange, but we get used to it. I'm probably going to come downtown next Thursday after work, but probably going to come down next Thursday and see some of the folks at the office, and I'm looking forward to that.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's an adjustment. I'm a bit of a people person, so it's just kind of strange. My break room's about 15 feet that way, and I don't have much of a commute anymore, which is nice, but it gives me more time to work.
I tell you, some days that commute from upstairs to downstairs gets a little longer than the commute from my house into the city, into the office some days. I got to say, on the flip side, I've thoroughly enjoyed working from home. I like it. I'm a fan, and get to hang out with my pooch all day. I get to make good lunches when I have time to eat lunch. Today, I have not sat up from my chair. So I don't think it would have been much of a difference if I was in the office or at home on a day like today, where I have not stood up since about 7 o'clock.
Yeah. I had enough time to toast an English muffin today.
Hey, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Yeah, I think, this last year, it's been a wild ride. We did just see both S&P and the Nasdaq move down hit that 5% low. That was good. I think it kind of needed it. If it really wants to keep going, it really needs something there. We still got levels down below. I wrote them down yesterday. I have lost it in my stack of cards. I don't know what I did with it, but I believe the 10% in the Nasdaq was 14,194 quarter or 3/4. I can't remember. 14,194 is the 10% down, and the 5% down was like 900 something, 14,900 something. So my memory is still somewhat there. I want to touch on, so John, every day we like to keep an eye on some of the meme stocks. We got a couple buys in the first of the year this year that we've been watching. We bought Airbnb had just gone public. So we bought Airbnb at $148 a share. And then we bought a Bitcoin at $34 or $34,000, which was $34. I would have actually legitimately bought one there.
Yeah, right.
So we've just kind of been watching them throughout the year, making it a little bit of fun to see how we're going forward or against. We have offered to take them off the table. No one has wanted to take them off. I think Tanya at once said, I want to lock this in and be done. I think she got overpowered by everyone else saying, nope, let's hold them. So
I've been watching. I know what you're up to.
They are fun. So our Bitcoin's trading right now at $43,300. We got a couple bucks in that one. That one's good to see. Airbnb, we have had some fun with Airbnb here lately. I've really enjoyed watching the stock. I actually have some of my own. We were in great money. We were up to like $200 a share, I think, at one point. Then we were against. In the last few weeks, we're seeing a nice little pop. That's trading over at 169.96 here to close out the day.
So you're back positive.
We are back up $21 in the money on that bad boy. So that one's fun. Now my favorites, John, some of these meme stocks have really made my year.
It has been fun to watch.
It's just wild, isn't it? The influence the retail market has had on markets for the last, as of recent, right? You know, you look back 10 years, retail was no influence. John, when you're on the floor, how much influence did retail have?
Nothing really. Nothing.
It's wild. Now everyone's got access. Things like Robinhood, we'll take a look at that stock in a moment, really have had some influence.
You got people, gangs of people ganging up on stocks, and they're going to influence. It's a big community out there.
It sure is. A lot of buying power out there, not as much selling power. So we've got AMC, got a nice little pop here today, up over $40 for the first time in a couple of days, I think, trading $40.08, but we peaked up at $40.50 in our GameStop, the wild one, the to the moon that everyone's expecting to take off like SpaceX did last week, which was just a wild thing, watching 4 civilians going to space for 4 days. How cool is that?
I'd go.
If I got asked, I would hop all over it. There's actually a pretty cool special on Netflix. I don't know what it's called. Something 4, SpaceX 4 maybe. Give it a watch if you haven't, John. It's pretty cool. It kind of like goes into detail on each of the people they're putting up in that. It was a pretty cool thing.
You'd have to have like a special like salute like SpaceX 4.
Right? Well, so GameStop has not made it to the moon just yet, but pretty damn close, up at $190.14. Pretty volatile day in this one. An $8 swing from low to high, ending right in the dead center. The big dog, though, the money maker, the mover, Tesla. 3 years ago, spoke to a guy I worked with, always said, Tesla, anytime it dips below $300, you buy more. Just buy as much as you can anytime it dips below 300. Well, we had a 5-for-1 split, and we are back trading at $751.94. God, I wish I bought more.
Yeah,
I wish I kept buying it and buying it. I'm just saying this one's really going to the moon. Hard to believe market cap on this is $722 billion. 16.8 million on the volume there. So I don't think you've looked at it, John. Robinhood yesterday had its first update in a little while. We bumped a little over $42. Today, volatile day like today, does Robinhood go up or down?
I'm thinking up.
I think you're right. Just shows retail is happening. Retail's involved. Robinhood up 10.8% today.
Wow. Wow.
$46.88. Pretty wild to see that one.
I kind of based that on, the volume today was as much as almost was around 8% off from yesterday's volume on the New York Stock Exchange. We finished the day with more volume than yesterday. So figured there was some pretty decent volume today. It had to be a good day for Robinhood.
Sure was. They had a great day. Nice up day there for them. And then lastly, we're always watching the VIX. What's going on there? We've had a pretty wild week in the VIX. We saw it on Monday. Biggest volume day in the Nasdaq since March 4th, March 5th. March 4th and 5th were both the two biggest volume days up until yesterday. Yesterday was Monday was a huge day. Volume slips there a little bit today, but still pretty good numbers over there. But the VIX, I'm kind of shocked. I was coming in today thinking, there might be an opportunity to buy VIX and make some money. Not the case. VIX is down 13.9% today, down at 2096, but still holding strong over 20, we're there for the first time in a while. So we got opportunity across the board. John, what do we got coming up the rest of the week when you look at the calendar?
We have tomorrow. We have jobless claims as usual on Thursdays. PMI composite flash, just a look into the PMI composite. We have misleading indicators, and we have the nat gas report at 9:30. So a couple of 7:30 numbers, jobless claims, and Chicago Fed National Activity Index, probably not a mover there. But we have PMI composite flash at 8:45, misleading indicators at 9 and 9:30 nat gas. Friday, we have a couple of talking Feds. Meester speaks at 7:45 a.m. Central, new home sales at 9 o'clock Central. And then the big Chairman Powell speaks also at 9 o'clock. There's two talking Feds also speaking at the same time. And then the Baker Hughes rig count. And that'll round out the week.
Hell of a week. Lots happening. A lot of movement.
Day it's Easter.
Right? A lot happened. A lot of movement. A lot of fun. John, I know, as you know, I always am talking this date in history to keep things interesting and change up topics. And I know you got something for us today.
You want me to go first?
I'd love for you to go first.
I'm always about this day in music. So as far as birthdays are concerned, everybody's favorite, David Coverdale, the singer for White Snake. It's his birthday today, born in 1951. In 1964, I'll give you a hint. That's the year I was born. Herman's Hermits.
Yourself exactly.
Yes. Herman's Hermits were at #1 in the UK singles chart with the Carole King and Jerry Goffin song, "I'm Into Something Good." The group's only #1. Grace Slick, 1965, was there. She was in a band called the Great Society. They had their live debut at North Beach, California. The Doors appeared on the Murray the K show. They performed People Are Strange. What else we got here? 1956, Debbie Boone.
Can we get a little more modern for the rest of us so we know what we're talking about here?
All right. I'll see if there's any. Def Leppard, right?
Yeah, I saw Def Leppard back in 2008.
In 1979, they had their first major live review when UK Music Weekly Melody Maker reviewed a gig the band played in Wolverhampton. The drummer was 15 years old in 1979.
All right, there's something interesting.
There you go. Joan Jett, we all know Joan Jett. It's her birthday today in 1958. Thank God.
I don't know who Joan Jett is.
Yeah, you do too.
No, I don't. I have no clue who that is.
She was in the Runaways. She was Joan Jett in the Black Hearts.
No.
I love rock and roll.
Oh, okay. You got to
All right.
sing the songs for me.
Yeah, see, you don't want me
This is-
singing, but
This is pre my era.
hey, this is your era. In 1990, No Fences, Garth Brooks album released today, turned out to be the #1 biggest country album of all time.
I do know that album. I have that album, and I got to see Garth Brooks live in Atlanta in 2014. That was one of the highlights of my music life.
Yes, Garth is great, and that's a great album. I love that album. And the last one I'm going to talk about today is always about Led Zeppelin. Jimmy Page in 2005 was an honorary citizen of the Brazilian city of Rio de Janeiro for his help working its street children. The Led Zeppelin guitarist opened Casa Jimmy's house in 1998, which had so far supported more than 300 children.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, thanks for sharing the state and history. Before I get or your music in history, I have a couple for the state and history, but really quick, got a couple questions. First, Nick's asking how to take advantage of the VIX moves. Do you trade options on it? You can trade the VIX. That is a CBOE product. I don't really recommend trading the VIX though, because when the VIX pops, you don't know it's coming. There's no indication. It just goes. It can be pretty dangerous. A lot of options, you make a lot of money based off of volatility. Your position, you make money off the vol, but it's not necessarily based off the VIX. So there are ways to do it. I would just recommend watching that VIX because that kind of gives you some ideas of what the equity markets are doing.
It's the fear factor, but there's a lot of fear in that factor.
There is, and it's not the safest. It's not the most exciting thing to be trading. Tanya is asking, since Hoag's here, do we get a dad joke? So you might be on the line. I'll give you a minute. I'll touch on my date in history. I only have a couple. First off, big one, 1862, President Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation just after Civil War broke out. This one's awesome. It is a music thing. I can't believe you didn't touch on it, or maybe you did and I fell asleep. 1985 was the first ever Farm Aid concert held in Champaign, Illinois.
That was not on my list.
Sheesh. I got you covered, John. Don't you?
Thank
worry.
you. Thank you.
And I think I had one more. Yes, I do. 1994, one of the greatest television sitcom series of all time. To be debated. I know some people have other thoughts. Friends debuted on this date in 1994.
Wow. 1994.
A long time ago.
And none of them have aged.
Not at all. All right, John. Do you have a dad joke for us, or do we sign it out?
Nah, sure. We can do a dad joke.
This one's for you, Tanya.
Why should you always bring an extra pair of socks when you go golfing? In case you get a hole in one.
Boom.
Well
Well said,
you asked
John.
for it, you got it.
Awesome. Well, John, thanks for joining me here today. I think we should do these things to change it up like this a little bit more often. This has
Love
been
it.
a lot of fun. Nice change of pace.
Sure.
I appreciate you joining me.
I appreciate you having me.
Outstanding. Well, everybody, thanks for joining us here on the Market Recap. I'm going to go ahead and sign out. John will be back here tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Central Time. So until then, stay safe, wash your hands, trade smart, and trade well. We'll see you guys.